We ready?
Yep.
Want to call to order special meeting agenda, amending the thoroughfare plan in the comprehensive plan. Let's stand for the pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Margaret, are you out there?
She's not going to be with us tonight.
Not gonna be?
So I'm going to
Okay,
handle your roll call and
okay.
votes tonight. So, ready for roll call?
Ready for roll call.
All right. Mr. Burleson,
Here.
Ms. Cardona,
Here.
Mr. Gill,
Here.
Mr. Gillette,
Here.
Ms. Little,
Here.
Ms. Woland,
Here.
and John Kennedy is absent. Craig Phillips is present. Ken Kraus,
Here.
Adam Decker,
Here.
Paul Panzik,
Here.
Brian Blazak. Okay, and you have 6 members present, which does constitute a quorum for the meeting.
Okay, the item on the agenda is amending the thoroughfare plan in the comprehensive plan.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
if I may, as council liaison, I wanted to give a little backstory to this paragraph for the Plan Commission. You might have seen some correspondence and email, but obviously, one of the major desires of residents in town is to improve our roads, both the maintenance as well as throughput of our roads. We really need to get to work here. So, as a council, we've taken that on as a task this year, and one of the methods for us to accomplish more work is to gain some grants. Craig has worked with NERC in the past, Northwest Indiana Regional Planning Commission. They hold the keys to the federal funding. It's an every other year process, so every 2 years a window opens and closes quickly for federal grants. And St. John has not played in that game for 20 years, not even tried. So we'd like to hopefully play in that game and help our roads. So the window opened suddenly, and we had to jump on it and take the opportunity. Again, this is the direction the residents gave the council last year when we were elected, and it's the direction we want to go. So we picked a few projects carefully based on time sensitivity and what we needed to get done, and set the task on Craig to run with it and work with our neighboring communities, the county, Cherville, even Cedar Lake was involved for a bit, and see how many people we can get on board on these applications for these thoroughfare improvements. And so we have 3 NERC applications in total. 2 of them are concerning roads. One is the 93rd Avenue corridor, and one is the Klein Avenue extension. So the reason this is in front of you tonight is we need to update, so our comprehensive master plan for the town is a document that is governed by the Plan Commission in a town. So ours was updated about 4 years ago. It had, inside of it, there's a thoroughfare plan, and it outlines all the road connections we'd like to make. So we wanted to update that thoroughfare plan to actually reflect these connections we want to do and these improvements we want to make. So everything has to synchronize. So the point of this being in front of you tonight is that it's actually a pretty simple task. It's changing the map to add a few little lines. For instance, Klein Avenue going through so everyone doesn't have to do that jog over to Blaine and back. So we need that to be present on that document, so when our application is reviewed, we have all our ducks in a row. So if anyone has any questions on that, any plan commissioners, feel free to ask myself or Craig. And I just wanted to set the table, though, because this goes back all the way back to last year's why we're here tonight, you know?
Craig, can you put that map showing those links? I understand the 93rd, the Klein Avenue from 93rd to 101st, but the other one I wasn't sure about.
All right.
The parallel railroad tracks.
Let's see.
So as Craig is putting that map up, Mr. Burleson, that the connection you speak of is actually not relevant to the NERC application,
Okay.
but the landowner in that area desires to make that connection at some point. One thing for plan commissioners to understand about the thoroughfare plan, and there's the map. So when a line is drawn on there and contained in our comprehensive plan, when that land is developed, the landowner will be tasked with making that connection. So it's really important for the town to get ahead of the game, get those lines drawn. Otherwise, we'd be legally challenged to try to actually get these roads built.
Okay.
So it's a good thing when a landowner voluntarily comes to you and says, could you please put that line on there? I want to do that. You know, that's a good thing for our town. So even if the land transfers ownership, when it's desired to be developed and platted, they come to us, you could say, you got to put that road in.
Case
So
in
that-
point would be, in the Klein Avenue case, we've already been asking some of the subdivisions that have been platted along that stretch to dedicate their portion of the necessary right-of-way to make that connection. So we're just kind of carrying forth what we've already been doing in practice
Correct.
by doing this as well.
So the Klein Avenue extension, oddly enough, wasn't on that map, although it's been acknowledged and identified. And I helped plat Walden Clearing, and we put in provisions for a roundabout and right-of-way on the west side for Klein. I mean, it's been planned forever. The town owns a parcel at 101st and Klein for an intersection. We own an empty lot there. So it's been planned in every way, except somehow it missed being on this map, so.
And there's one minor deletion to the map, and that was that there previously was a connection shown from Claremont Drive crossing 93rd over to Deodore, which is no longer feasible because there's actually going to be a subdivision built in that location. So we just need to take it off the map. It's no longer feasible to make that connection. So that's the only other real change to this.
And where's this other line, this other road parallel to the railroad tracks? Where's that one?
This kind of curvy purple line through here, just so that in the future, as this property develops, there's a connection north-south from Joliet Road down to US 231.
Okay. Any questions from the board?
Bob, may I have a chance to speak here?
Yes, you may.
This is Ken Kraus.
Go ahead, Ken.
Okay, the Klein Avenue extension goes through a significant wetland area, as does the one between the railroad tracks north of US 231 up to Three Springs. The cost of the Klein Avenue, we were asked to take a look at that like 4 years ago, and it was like $1.5 million without having the poor soils involved. So you know that's going to increase the cost of construction for that one, as will the one between the railroad tracks, which is also going through significant wetland areas. I just wanted you to realize that we're not just building a normal road there. We're going to have to take into account possible poor soils in both of those areas.
And yeah, we've accounted for that in the application that we're submitting to NERC.
Yeah.
The cost estimates definitely reflect that, and would anticipate the construction of a bridge necessary to get over the Beaver Dam ditch, as well as some of the adjacent wetland areas.
Welcome to St. John, the town of poor soils.
Well, that's why it's not built. You know, there's a
Yep.
reason.
And that's why we're applying for federal funds, is because this kind of opportunity doesn't come along all the time to get, a substantial portion of the funding potentially available through grants to make that happen. So,
And fortunately, the Klein Avenue extension is actually on their list of projects that are regionally beneficial. It'll benefit Cedar Lake, it'll benefit Sherrill, it'll benefit County, it'll benefit St. John. It's part of a north-south connection alternate from US 41.
Yep.
but it falls within our jurisdiction,
correct.
so we're responsible for seeking the funding necessary to make it happen. So-
Correct. And Let me also add one other thing for the Plan Commission's edification. You're accustomed to having developments come in front of you, and you're learning as a new Plan Commission that sometimes during rezoning, you try to get things like a road put in or an intersection improvement and such. It would be difficult to bargain for a Klein Avenue extension with the extensive work needing to be done. You'd have to bargain away quite a bit to try to even have a developer install that. It would come at a cost, let me just put it that way. And so if we could place the road in ourselves, it puts the town in an advantage, both for traffic flow and future development. It puts you in an advantageous position.
Thanks, Ken. I was aware of the Klein Avenue poor soils. I wasn't aware of the other one in between the
Yeah.
railroad tracks.
That area actually was brought in as a subdivision back in the early 90s as Oak Meadows, as a multi-zone PUD, which never took off after the approvals. So I'm sure those approvals have been elapsed. But there was at one time a subdivision plan to go in between the two railroad tracks.
And that 1.4 million is for what?
That was for the Klein Avenue extension only.
For remedying the soils or?
No, that was if there were no poor soils. That would be if it was regular, stable
Okay.
ground to build a road on. It did not include poor soils remediation.
Okay. Yeah.
And like I said, we've reflected that in the estimates we put together for the grant, so it's not a small price tag.
And again, this is a little bit beyond the scope of the Plan Commission, some of the things I'm sharing here, but the funding mechanism, if we were to be, the impact fee you're going to be talking about in a little bit. So it's able to be used for new roads or new improvements to increase traffic flow or better traffic flow. And there's actually other alternate funding. We have a yearly budget for roads that we could dip into if we absolutely had to. We'd prefer to keep that for maintenance. But the council will be looking at this 4 to 6 years, 4, 6, 8 years out in a phased project. But first step is getting the application in and getting this map updated to reflect really what the town has already desired to do, has already begun to do, it just wasn't on the map, so.
Any questions, concerns? Hearing none? Oh, go ahead.
Bob, this is Yolanda. Just a quick question, just for me to correctly read this map. So basically, you're looking at the purple recommended connections that are circled with the dotted line, right? Because these are not on the original Figure 1 comprehensive plan, thoroughfare plan, and the original documents that we received.
Actually, only
Majority of them are.
most of them are on the original document, so they leave them circled like that to get your attention. So the new
Okay.
ones are the one all the way to the right, which is the Klein Avenue. And the other new one is down by 231, running north to south. Those two are additions. The rest of the map looks exactly like that currently.
Okay.
Minus the one connection that I mentioned is being deleted.
Right. Just a little bit of house cleaning to get the map up to date. It's 4 years out now, so it's needed this tweak.
So I have a question. These grants, should we get them, because they're not guaranteed, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Should we get them, do they pay for what percentage of the total project? 100%? 50?
No,
70.
it's generally about 70, Nancy, but again, that'd be a town council issue. You wouldn't have to worry about it here at the Plan Commission. Even if there's no grants, those are still road connections we desire to make. And if that land would develop, we would be pressed to try to make them.
Okay. But, so, just, I'm new to this. So let's take the Klein Avenue extension. So we get the grant for that, and we decide for some reason not to do it. Do we lose that money, or can you take that money and use it for something else?
We would probably lose that money. It would go back into the pot for the available projects that perhaps didn't get selected or the next round of funding, depending on how the timing falls.
Okay, thank
So-
you.
So I see a newspaper reporter here, and I know this is live streaming, so I do want to make this clear. I mean, trying to be transparent with everything we're doing here. The chance of getting this grant is very slim.
Yeah.
It's very, very competitive. Every community is going to be up there fighting for them. So, but at least we're trying. We're going to take a swing at it. We're actually going to take 3 swings at it, 3 applications, and we would be lucky to get a grant. And it would certainly help the town get ahead a little bit on the road game, because we're behind. So just because we're applying or talking about it tonight doesn't mean it'll ever actually happen. But we're sure going to give it a go.
Okay, I just wondered how the grants worked. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions? Okay, do I hear a motion for amending?
Mr. President,
sorry.
I'm sorry, because this is a public hearing, I believe you need to open the public hearing
Okay,
and invite public comments at this time before there's any vote taken by the members of the Plan Commission.
do we have anybody that signed up to make public comment? Anybody out there that want to make public comment on amending the thoroughfare plan? Teresa, go ahead.
Teresa Burleson, 9520 Joliet Street, St. John. I just want to thank our council for looking for solutions to these problems that have been around here a long time. And Klein Avenue is a big one, and I just want all the town council and all you on the Plan Commission to know how much I know this town and the citizens of this town appreciate you doing your job and really digging in and finding what needs to be done. And it's way past time, and just want you to be appreciated for your efforts. Thank you.
Approve it, right, sir. I think it's certified. You'll lead them in that. I'm sorry? You'll guide them in that. Sure. Yeah.
Anyone else that didn't sign up that want to make public comment? Hearing none, bring it back to the board. Do I have a motion to amend the thoroughfare plan in the comprehensive plan?
I'll make a motion to amend the thoroughfare plan and the comprehensive plan.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
So that was a motion by Ms. Little, correct?
Yes.
And a second by
Nancy?
Nancy Woolen? Okay, second. Sorry, it's hard to tell when the people are on the phone.
All right.
So if you make a motion, if you could, please identify yourself, just so we, for the record, and so I can keep track of this. So,
Sure, no
motion
problem.
made by Ms. Little and seconded by Ms. Woland. And this requires a voice vote because, a roll call vote, because not all members are present in the room. So.
Craig, you-
Okay, so, Mr. Burleson,
Yes?
Ms. Cardona,
Yes.
Mr. Gill,
Yes.
Mr. Gillette,
Yes.
Ms. Little,
Yes.
Ms. Woland,
Yeah.
and Mr. Kennedy is absent. So that is 6 votes in favor and none against the amendment to the thoroughfare plan in the comprehensive plan.
Okay.
And so just to be clear, we're forwarding, we're certifying that the planning commission is sending this to the town council with a favorable recommendation, correct?
Yes, Mr. Phillips, under Indiana Code 36744508, B, upon approval, the Plan Commission shall certify the comprehensive plan or the amendment tonight to the town council. So the vote to approve has been made and been adopted by the Plan Commission. It is now certified to the town council for its consideration.
Okay, with that, that closes the, or that finishes the special meeting agenda. Do I have a motion to close this agenda?
This is Nancy. I make a motion to close the special meeting agenda.
Nancy made a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Gil, second. Roll call, please.
Mr. Burleson?
Yes.
Ms. Cardona?
Yes.
Mr. Gill?
Yes.
Mr. Gillette?
Yes.
Ms. Little?
Yes.
Ms. Wolin?
Yes.
And Mr. Kennedy is absent, so that's 6 in favor and 0 against adjournment of the special meeting.